curious about how much I remember. Because, like, I don't think I shared classes with either one of you.
You did.
My problem is that I don't remember most of the things that happened in middle school and high school because I had so much PTSD. Mm-hmm. And whenever we talk about things, memories just, like, erupt.
The things I remember from 6th grade is that when we first moved here, I had a horrendous sleep schedule, as I kept through all of my school years. And I was writing notes in first period of what was going on. Like, the things on the board were going on my paper, and the teacher walked by and took the notes and balled them up, staring me dead in the eye. Balled them up and put them in the trash and was like, give me your agenda. Because you remember we had the stupid card in the front of the agenda.
Punch cards, yeah.
And they would, like, do the little punch system, and if you got so many, you got detention. Or
I only ever got one punch, and I didn't even do anything.
But I do remember not getting the punches because you got a reward like every quarter if you didn't get any punches. You
I didn't get those.
I remember going to those. And it's not like I didn't do things, I just didn't get caught. Like, I always had my cell phone, always had gum.
You needed me to charge your battery.
So I have a history of, like, my phone's not charging, or for some reason needing help charging them.
Having bad batteries in your phone.
I think you've got, like, one of those electro fields that messes with things.
I don't know, but at one point I was without a charger, or my charger wasn't working, my phone wouldn't charge. And so we had the same kind of phone.
The intensity.
Yeah.
I had that one too.
Yeah.
Because you had the keyboard.
I would take my battery and give it to Chen, and then Chen would take it, like, switch with me.
I gotcha.
And would take it home and charge it, and then we'd switch off the next day.
I had the battery in my pocket, because, like, it was one of those mornings where we sat in the gym before classes rather than going to homeroom. We did the battery exchange. And I had it in my pocket. But I had forgotten that was what was in my pocket, so when I shifted and felt something there, I was like, what is this? And I reached down to feel it, and it was like, oh, squared, it's the battery. Our 8th grade reading teacher saw me messing with something and went, whatever it is, give it to me. And I was like, I just thought there was something in my pocket in this, but here you go. She meant to give it back to me at the end of the day. She did not give it back to me until that next Monday, the entire weekend having passed. And she said, I'm going to be real with you, I forgot to give it to you. I was like, I wasn't even doing anything with it. I just forgot it was there, and I was trying to feel like what it was that was there.
Yeah. I had a notepad one time, back when iPhones had just come out, and you had to slide them to open the homepage. So I had this little sticky notepad that was in the shape of an iPhone. And one of the teachers walked up to me and put his hand on the desk. And he was like, I got you. I was like, you got me? He's like, I got you. You got it right there on the desk. I was like, yeah, take it. And he picked it up. And he was like, can't stand you.
I feel like sometimes teachers really felt like they felt so high and mighty about themselves.
They had such an aha moment.
They're like, aha, I caught you. You caught yourself making a fool of yourself.
So another thing I have typed up is that we had a friend that tried or succeeded to varying degrees or failed to varying degrees to convince people that she had a license to kill.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
I have, the obligatory you slapped me in the face story.
Okay, so you guys remember the lockers in the cafeteria? Middle school? That's where my locker was. And that's where a mutual friend of ours told me you were talking shit about me. And I decided I was gonna end that shit talking. I didn't even validate anything that she said. I took it to heart. Our lockers were right beside each other, and she goes, hey, she's been talking a lot about you. I was like, yeah, what'd she say? Because I assumed, like, you said some pretty great stuff. We're besties and all. And she said, like, that you said I was a bad friend and that I lied a lot. I can't remember. There was a bunch of things. I was 11. But I remember it infuriated me. I was like, well, I'm going to fix this in gym class. And so I did. I stomped into the change-out room. I found you. I made eye contact. And I slapped.
I was in the bleachers.
You were in the bleachers?
I was in the bleachers. You came out of the changing room,
I remember,
slapped me, and then went back.
I thought I slapped you in the change-out room.
No, I was sitting in the bleachers because the girl behind me just said, girl, you just gonna take that? And I said, I don't know what just happened. I'm trying to wait for my, eyes to roll back around.
And I also remember in middle school running. I had developed breasts at this point, maybe a size C. I remember one guy, which once we're done, I'll tell you who this is. I was running, and he pointed to my boobs, and he was like, yeah, they're jiggling.
Okay, so
I have a story about him next.
I was about to say, was it one of the guys who was in that fight where the guy got the concussion? Because the other one...
He made eye contact with me and then my boobs, as if I had literally two pair of eyes, and it made his day. I was like, oh God, I gotta start walking.
He really went, man, nipples are the eyes of the tit.
Because I actually enjoyed like running and working out. I could hang with the guys as far as push-ups, sit-ups, like being athletic. I was pretty athletic, always have been. And he just pointed to me and just
ruined it.
Scarred me for life.
Killed your spirit.
Now I have to strap them babies in every time I go to the gym.
Like,
oh, man.
The other one who was in that fight was in track and field. Like the 1 year I did track and field at recommendation of the cross country coach. And he was running like long distance with us, like, but he hadn't been in cross country beforehand. And I have a tendency, like I've always had this tendency to look at my feet when I am walking and running because I don't want to trip over them or anybody else or any like obstacles. He thought I was staring at his ass.
On the ground?
Right? He was in front of me a little ways and I was looking at my feet. He saw me looking down, or like noticed I was looking down, or maybe somebody was like, "Oh, she was staring at your ass." But they really looked at they really went, the ace arrow staring at somebody's ass and thirsting over him. Like, no.
But no, we have the guy that stared at your tits and the guy that thought you were staring at his ass got into a fight one day.
About tits and ass, probably.
I don't know. Like, I just remember walking out of the, it was the art room, and then there were, like, the 3 halls that emptied out onto the side above the big stone steps.
Like the gravity-defying steps.
Yeah. I came out of, like, the farthest door, and there's a slew of people, and they're all just going. And I remember, like, looking out and just seeing, because, you know, person A was a big dude, like, fucking massive. Did he fight like right?
No.
No, he's just always been massive.
He was just really tall.
Genuinely a giant. He was just a big dude. But I just remember above the sea of people seeing the smaller, you know, average height 7th grader soaring through the air and just having his absolute shit rocked when his face met concrete. And then he was lifted again. Like, his entire body was off the ground.
That was some WWE shit.
It was amazing in so many ways. But the thing that got me was, like, he was visibly bloody and beaten, having been bludgeoned into the concrete. And there's a small group of people, like maybe 6 people, have stopped to watch and been like, hey, fight,
fight. We're cheering.
The rest of the 50 million in the crowd were just like, man, I'm off the clock. It's time to go.
Man,
and they just ignored it.
Because he's massive and they both have anger issues. I would have been...
Like, nobody was retreating to get an official or a staff member.
It was happening, like, right outside the doors.
Yeah,
I didn't see it happening, but I remember hearing about it happening.
I remember those stairs gave me so much anxiety, though, because they were so steep and they're all concrete.
I don't know how I used to run up them every day.
Or down. Going up was one thing, but having to go down them... I remember my grandmother would come pick me up, and she would say, why are you always looking at the ground? Like, she thought I was depressed, which I kind of was. But
like I didn't want to die tumbling down some stone steps.
You try going down those steps with this big-ass book bag. Yeah.
It's like...
And there are people, like, hustling behind you, around you. So I tried to stay near the rail. Next topic.
So I have the fight between husband and...
Yeah, the other kid, where he just... The most silent fight in the middle of the classroom with the reading teacher that took your battery.
Yeah, the reading teacher that took my battery noticed a fight start to happen. And I had a small dude and my husband, who was not a small dude at the time.
I mean, he's still not a small dude.
He's still not a small dude, but now he's, like, average.
Yeah.
More in that realm. But at the time, he was kind of like a massive 7th grader. 8th grader?
8th grader.
Regardless, dude came up angrily and silently just started punching him in the back because, like, my husband had his head down, arms on his desk. And it was fine until he, like, picked his head up and looked like he was going to do something. So she launched herself from the desk she was sitting on over a friend's head, like, both feet off the ground over this girl's head, and ran and put the other kid in, like, an arm bar, like a prison hold.